I think it's time to make fun of a different group of people. Okay? A group of people that's way more fun to make fun of, which is liberals. I don't know if it's just been me or what, but I feel like I've been seeing so many liberals on Twitter complaining about how Biden hasn't won over enough people. Aaron Rupar is the bane of my existence, Denims. I swear to God, he used to be normal. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know. I swear to God, he wasn't this bad. Feels like the last couple years he was okay. Yeah. Yeah. I just think I have a couple problems with this strategy, right? Where like they're always the ones that talk about how like leftists don't do enough to actually win over people to their side, but liberals are even worse on this front because they think that you can tell a group of people to just vote because it's the right thing to do and that you're successfully winning them over. And then they shame you for not voting. It's very weird. Like the behavior, I think, is very weird and it doesn't actually win anyone over. So for the group of people that talk about how protests are ineffective and you need to vote, man, you are not very effective at voter outreach. That's pretty sad, actually. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty sad. I saw a couple of his tweets recently saying like a lot of people aren't voting for Biden. How could they do this? They don't realize that they need to vote for Biden. And it's like, again, bold strategy to like tell a group of people, especially all of the news orgs that have been trying to do outreach to Muslim or like Arab Americans for voting or for, whatever it is. It's like you're going to tell a group of people who you have routinely ignored to vote for you. Are you an idiot? Like, you guys have completely lost the plot. Totally lost the plot. And the thing that makes me really mad is that liberals, the like moderates of the liberal party, moderates, aka the people that don't like to rock the boat. What is very confusing about them is that they don't. You have 69 followers. Nice. Nice. They don't realize how callous they're being to tell Arab Americans, a lot of Arab Americans who have friends who are Palestinians, who know people who are refugees, or who are they, them, non-binary Arabs, themselves are refugees from a different country in the Middle East that has had ongoing war because of Western intervention. Like, what about all of the Iranian or Iraqian refugees? Or like even Syrian refugees? Like all of the refugees that are from this region, do you think that like they're just going to ignore your genociding of the Palestinian people? Iraqis, I guess. Like that's just not how it's going to work out, right? You can't just tell a bunch of people get over genocide. And they are winning the like media war hardcore. Here's some statements from, I don't know how many of you guys saw it, but some statements this morning from Biden.
We've all seen the images, and they put to the test two fundamental American principles. Excuse me. The first is the right to free speech and for people to peacefully assemble and make their voices heard. The second is the rule of law. Both must be upheld. We are not an authoritarian nation where we silence people or squash dissent. The American people are heard. In fact, peaceful protest is in the best tradition of how Americans respond to consequential issues. But neither are we a lawless country. We are a civil society, and order must prevail. Throughout our history, we've often faced moments like this because we are a big, diverse, free-thinking, and freedom-loving nation. In moments like this, there are always those who rush in to score political points. But this isn't a moment for politics. It's a moment for clarity. So let me be clear. Peaceful protest in America. Violent protest is not protected. Peaceful protest is. It's against the law when violence occurs. Destroying property is not a peaceful protest. It's against the law. Vandalism, trespassing, breaking windows, shutting down campuses, forcing the cancellation of classes and graduations. None of this is a peaceful protest. Threatening people, intimidating people, instilling fear in people is not peaceful protest.
Don't forget their whole shtick on threatening people, by the way, is building a human barricade. Just like literally arms in arms. Please don't pass this
Pro
line.
tip, if you have to say we are not authoritarian, it's because you were doing some extremely authoritarian shit.
Like, that's the same shit that, like, environmentalists do. They make a human barricade around, like, a tree. Or whatever the fuck. Like, human barricades have been done countless times in countless forms of protesting that we have always found to be an acceptable form of protesting. Mumbles, thank you for the 8 months. Thank you. Also, if you're paying for your college classes, I think you have a right to shut down your college classes. Not to be, I don't know, a fucking wokist, I guess.
Look, it's basically a matter of fairness. It's a matter of what's right. There's the right to protest, but not the right to cause chaos. People have the right to get an education, the right to get a degree, the right to walk across the campus safely without fear of being attacked.
Captions.
Let's be clear about this
What's with the captions?
as well. There should be no place on any campus, no place in America for anti-Semitism or threats of violence against Jewish students.
Does he mention Islamophobia?
There is no place for hate speech or violence of any kind, whether it's anti-Semitism, Islamophobia,
Okay.
discrimination against Arab Americans or Palestinian Americans. It's simply wrong. There's no place for racism in America. It's all wrong. It's un-American. I understand people have strong feelings and deep convictions. In America, we respect the right and protect the right for them to express that. But it doesn't mean anything goes. It needs to be done without violence,
Can't say
finding it
anything
without
anymore,
destruction,
huh?
without hate, and within the law. You know, make no mistake, as president, I will always defend free speech, and I will always be just as strong in standing up for the rule of law. That's my responsibility to you, the American people, my obligation to the Constitution. Thank you very much.
Fuck off, dude. Fuck off. What's the solution? Go protest at home? Unions are one of the most American, like, staples. And guess what? The only reason Americans have gotten anything, has been because of disruptive protesting. The Boston Tea Party was wrong and un-American because they destroyed property. It's just a joke. It's just them saying, no, please don't protest. Please don't protest. Stop. We're going to hope that we can say enough sentimental statements that maybe some people are against these protests. But that's just not like how, it's not how it works. Protest will know where no one will see you smile. Yeah. Let me see if I can find. I misplaced it just because it's been such a long time since the last stream. But that one clip of like the Zionist who goes to a protest and starts crying because nobody wants to talk to her. It's like, French literally walked around into a one-to-one replica of a guillotine during a protest, and Americans get up in arms for breaking into a building. French raised the buildings. Yeah. And it's because it's much easier to like name and shame than it is to actually explain why they shouldn't be protesting. Is it this one? Yes. Look at this fucking essay, Andy. After seeing everything on the news, I decided to go and see for myself what's happening at UCLA. I went in with the intention of having honest conversations, try to truly understand each other's pain and suffering. No one would speak to me. The only thing they would say to me is, you can speak to our media liaison, or we don't speak to agitators. When I tried to speak with their media liaison, they again refused to talk to me. When I tried to peacefully enter their encampment, which is on public property that anyone has the right to walk through, they set up a human barricade to physically prevent me from going in. I can't believe this is what our world has come to. This ratio is crazy. 6K comments, 5K repost and quote tweets, and 10K likes. That is.
We've been seeing all over the news all the craziness that's happening on college campuses, especially at UCLA. So I decided to come here for myself. Do you mind if I interview?
I'm not going to talk to media.
Excuse me, do you guys want to tell me what's going on here?
No, sorry. We're not letting any media in the encampment, just so you know.
Okay, we were just standing outside, just trying to. Are we allowed to ask you guys a few questions about it? A lot of us just don't feel comfortable.
I can direct you to media liaison.
We're not gonna interview with you today. Not gonna engage with people that are gonna be pushing us.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
No, agitators aren't allowed.
Talk to one of our media.
They won't speak to me. No one will speak to me.
There's a desk over there with media.
I've spoken to them. They won't speak to me.
Well, then you can try again.
I've tried, and this lady specifically is telling
The scary music.
me I'm an agitator.
Don't engage with agitators in this.
I'm just trying to understand what you're protesting. For some reason, no one from your guys' team will let you guys speak, and I don't know why you guys can't speak to me. And like, this is so intimidating and scary for you guys to be standing here. I literally have walked around for the past 2 hours just asking peaceful questions like, what's going on here today? Why are you guys here? And no one can speak to me. And you guys are laughing. I don't understand how this is funny. I genuinely wanted to learn from you. And I wish we could have ended in a hug. That's actually what I hoped from this. That's my dream from all of this, that we could understand each other.
I think we need more barricade, guys.
The crocodile tears are crazy. She really thought, what if I showed up with some Pepsis?
We've been seeing all over the news.
No, guys, but I have Pepsi. Like, what if I handed you guys some Pepsi and we just talked about it? Huh? Huh? The Islander, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you. Oh my God. I also wanted to watch this as well on the topic of the protests. Oh, in addition, I believe we have a command set up. Exclamation point bail. For anyone here who would like to help out and try and help fundraise for bail funds for anyone who's been currently showing up at these protests and wants to know how to help, this is a great, easy way to help. It can redirect you to links everywhere that can help you fundraise to for bail funds for students or people who aren't students showing up at the campus encampments. So this is a very, very easy way to help. Exclamation point bail. I've been wanting to plug one of these for a while because even if we can help, if we can raise enough money to help even one person, I feel like we've done enough good. I feel like we've done enough good. In addition, yeah, I want to watch this, and then I want to watch some of the examples of the police, acting like, pigs
If you don't
acting
watch
like bacon.
Fox News, you are missing out on some seriously unhinged coverage of these college protests. Student encampments are popping up nationwide, standing against the genocide happening in Gaza. And I'll tell you this, warhawks, and especially conservative warhawks, are losing their collective mind. So instead of my usual Friday recap, let's talk about how bad this rhetoric's gotten, because it's not great. Sentient hazing scandal, Jesse Waters invented a completely new guy to be mad at. And don't worry, it's super racist.
Biden's making us pay Johnny Jihad's tuition. Johnny Jihad can just walk from Mexico to Texas, hop on a plane, and slip into the crowd on the Columbia Quad. They've been grooming little Johnny Jihads to burst into flames first semester. Kaboom.
Please, Mr. Jihad was my father. Call me Johnny.
Kaboom.
That same night, a guest made a really great comparison about these protests.
What we are seeing right now on our streets and on our campuses is an illegal occupation. Just like we were bombed by the
Illegal occupation. The irony is just like, oh my, they're just smothering it in irony.
Japanese in Pearl Harbor well into World War II, and that woke us up. We have been bombed.
What the fuck are you talking about? Just listen to yourself for 1 second. You compared students protesting to Pearl Harbor. You should never be allowed to speak on television again.
We have been bombed.
Throughout this entire news cycle, I've learned that Fox hosts truly do not understand the very idea of solidarity. Like, multiple people are convinced these are being puppeteered by a shadow government.
Many are questioning who's organizing this movement, pointing out that these tents are pretty similar, right, at campuses across the country.
Why do they have all of them the same green tents?
You look at the tents, you can tell this is an inorganic thing. This is definitely a setup. This is definitely an operation.
You're telling me they all went and bought tents from a sports supply store? Wouldn't it make more sense if this was being run by Iran?
This feels like the do you guys remember there was this post on Twitter from this guy during the BLM protest, and it was a bunch of people taking out signs and stuff from a U-Haul truck, and someone was like, where are they getting this type of funding? George Soros ? And it's like, sir, it's like $20 to rent a U-Haul truck for an hour. Like, cardboard is not that expensive. Poster boards are really not expensive. I don't know. What are you talking about? Like, what? What do you... You can get pallets for free? Sticks and printed paper at the very least? Yeah. Like, what do you mean? What? It's a U-Haul, Michael. How much could it be? $1,000? And it's like the U-Haul truck's literally on the like side of a U-Haul truck. It says only $20 an hour. Like, they advertise that they are cheap to rent. Like, I don't... What? I get U-Hauls all the time to move for cheap all the time. I think I've moved now like 3 or 4 times, and I've done all the moving myself, like with friends helping and stuff. I mean, as in not hiring like a moving team. I just don't trust moving teams to not break all my shit. They're somehow even worse than what is it? Oh, like FedEx workers. I swear to God, FedEx workers, before they give you your package, they like kick it. Like, they beat the shit out of it first. And movers, they do that, but like triply so. Like, I don't even know how. I worked for a moving team before. Don't trust those people. And I mean, like, I'm not going to lie, to be honest, if I had to pick up and put down gigantic boxes all day, I also would not give a shit. Sorry to say. Japan has the best movers. I'm so jealous. It's fucked up. I've known people who like had TVs that they really liked, like big TVs, and the movers literally cracked it. So I generally do all the moving myself and just have like a friend help me with some stuff. And so now you're admitting to destruction of property, reported to the FBI. Gigaspud, thank you so much for the 2 months. And so, yeah, I like rented a U-Haul, like, and it was, I think for using it for a day, it was like $200 in total, and that's including gas. Because you're supposed to fill it up and leave the gas tank as you left it, or they charge you extra. Something like that. So, like, it's not expensive. It's not. You don't need Soros money to put together, what, $300 for some posters, some sticks, and a U-Haul truck. What is this? Oh my God. Maybe we'll look at this in a second, spam. The other thing that I really wanted to show you guys was why every time I hear about Brianna Wu, I feel like my life gets worse. I swear to God, this is another one of those people. This is like the conversation I had with Caroline. This is another one of those people that I swear to God wasn't like weird and now has become so weird. And I don't understand why. If I seem less charitable to Free Palestine today than 3 months ago, the countless death threats, rape threats, smear campaigns, outright lies, and even attacks by figures like Hassan on my interracial marriage are now part of that growing anger. I don't think some of you care about the humanitarian crisis. I think many of you have a personality disorder and do immense damage to your cause and to progressivism. But like, one, if you were ever actually pro-Free Palestine, it almost feels like how other people act shouldn't impact that opinion, because that's not an opinion you make because people are nice or people are mean to you. Like, gay people could be mean to me every day of the week, and every day of the week, every time I walk past a gay person, they're just like, I hate you. And it's like, whoa, man, that's fucked up. What the fuck did I do? Jesus. I still think they should have rights, man. Like, it doesn't matter how mean the meanest gay person is to me. They should have rights. Same thing with trans people. It's like, trans people could be total assholes to me day in and day out, and it still doesn't matter. They deserve to have rights. Like, I support their rights and their wrongs. They're human beings. If they're doing their own shit, why do I care, right? And then if you weren't pro-Free Palestine and people got upset at you about it, I feel like the correct choice to make there would be to readdress why you're pro-Free Palestine, or sorry, why you're not pro-Free Palestine and why people are mad at you, right? Because it's not like people just get mad for no reason. I guess maybe some people do. I don't know. I feel like if I see that people are upset at me, I kind of take a look and see at who's upset at me, and then I go from there. So, like, in the instance of my cancellation, it's like, oh, Dick Sardo is posting about me. The same org that, like, tries to make Pokey look bad anytime she's remotely in the news. Like, Dick Sardo is known for having terrible, terrible articles that have terrible leanings, and they bury the lead in every single story, right? Okay. It's like Keemstar, like the Keemstar rule. If Keemstar is on my side, I've made a mistake. If drama YouTubers are on my side, I've made a mistake. And if drama YouTubers are not on my side, it means I'm probably saying nothing that actually is bad. Like, I'm going to listen to the people that I respect. And if I respect X or YZ group of people and they're like, hey, it's really fucked up that you think that there's something anti-Semitic about Free Palestine, I'd be like, oh man, I usually really respect your political opinions and your political takes. But Okay, I guess. If that's your stance, maybe I should like revisit what I think. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I'm right. To be honest, you can say I like something and drama YouTubers will turn out a 50 video series about you. Yeah, I mean, slow news day, I guess. Dexterito is like that one friend that always embellishes a story just so you say okay, because you know everything is probably a lie. I mean, again, like I said, in my instance, people who don't like my content, people who are right-wingers or centrists or who think I'm a tanky are tweeting support and being like, you guys are joking. You're just making this to be a bigger thing than it actually is and pretending like this is a serious threat because you need the attention. This is so obviously a joke. Anyone who sees this, anyone with two eyes knows that this is a fucking joke. LOL, tanky, yeah. Is Brianna a TERF? I don't know if TERF is the right word, but also I'm not trans. Not yet. Soon, maybe. Maybe the big trans will get me soon. But she's a little bit like True Scum, from my understanding. Like, I'm sure she wants human rights for trans people and everything, but she's True Scum on like the, oh, why are we just letting anyone be trans kind of thing. And it's like, okay, I guess. Sure. I guess. Anyways, TLDR. If you're pro-Free Palestine, people being mean to you shouldn't change your stance on genocide. And if you're anti-Free Palestine, people being mean to you, especially if there are any of those people that you respect are being mean to you, maybe you should reconsider your position and recognize that, like, hey, I shouldn't be pro-genocide. So anyways, yeah, that's my stance on that. Let's finish listening to Biden's reporting.
Mr. President,
Reporting.
has the protest forced you to reconsider any of the policies with regard to the region?
No. Thank you.
Mr. President, do you think the National Guard should intervene?
No.
Mr. President, do you agree with?
Do you think the millions of people that are protesting against the genocide is going to change your mind? No. Wow. Excellent. And like, here's the thing, man, okay? First of all, why are you throwing this late in the game? Okay? Shouldn't you guys be pulling like the Democratic playbook of promising things you're never going to do? Doesn't that make more sense? Isn't that more in line with what you guys usually do? What's up? What's going on? Second of all, these Cretans say that they care about democracy and then straight up say they don't care what the average person thinks. Yep. Second of all, you're not polling nearly as good as you should be, Biden. It's actually concerning. It's concerning. And if liberals spent like a fraction of the energy that they spend shaming people that are anti-genocide and spend that energy yelling at Biden and holding Biden accountable and holding Biden to better, higher standards, we would be on liberals' side. The problem is that like they think that voting,
for one, am concerned.
They think that voting is just like the end-all be-all solution. And if you disrupt anyone with protests, you're the bad guy. It seems like it's just that they're more concerned about American hegemony over everything else. Yeah, but like, how many pieces of media have to come out that show you can't lose your humanity in order to save humanity? Like, how many pieces of media do we have to make? But it's wild, but it's not shocking that acts of violence and property damages are condemned, but without clarification that counter-protests and police were the ones acting that way. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It wasn't January 6th a protest. The problem is that it was on entirely false pretenses. And it wasn't a peaceful protest. The encampments are peaceful. They're not breaking property. They're not breaking and entering. Like, they're not doing any of those things, right? Like, second of all, again, what are they protesting? Like, Donald Trump's own Department of Justice said they found no fraud. Like, we have recordings of Trump talking to leaders asking to find extra votes for him and being unable to. Like, people that judges that he has elected are saying, dude, there's no fucking fraud. And I'm not going to lie. And so if the entire thing is a lie, and Trump was, I think, was it a subpoena? He admitted that there was no fraud. And he admitted that, like, that he was lying the whole time. So they didn't storm the Capitol for a good reason. They didn't storm the Capitol to stop, like, a bill from being funded for, like, bombing another country. They just got mad because their guy lost. Overthrowing a government because you disagree with the results is not democratic. That's the opposite of democratic. So, yeah, it's a little bit different. This is hilarious. Both sides are now chanting, fuck Joe Biden. And this guy says, he's done it. He finally brought the nation together. I mean, high key, out of all the important issues that Biden could be spending his time focusing on, this is what people see. Free speech for all, free Palestine, I'm going to ban you. Like, even if they have genuine security concerns, which I don't buy for a fucking second, by the way, considering that the US is currently actively spying on all of us with social media, and they sell that data to data brokers, which is then bought by other countries. Seeing as how America's never given a shit about our data, I don't believe that suddenly they care about our data because of TikTok. Like, no, fuck off, man. This just has to do with wanting a hegemony over mainstream, anything even remotely mainstream in terms of social media. And guess what? Your algorithm allowing free Palestine tweets, or not tweets, TikToks to do better, because TikTok has outwardly spoken that they don't control what people see. Like, they don't promote specific posts. Their algorithm is not made to specifically be pro-Palestine. It's just that there are so many Palestinian protests. There are so many pro-Palestine protests. There's millions and millions of people across the globe that are protesting against the genocide that's currently happening. And there just isn't that many protests. Excuse me. There aren't that many protests that are getting enough public traction to even impact the algorithm. Like, we've even seen some influencers seemingly get ousted for making pro-Israel posts. Specifically for financial compensation. Leniner me, thank you so much for the 3 months. Thank you. So, yeah. Yeah, who would have guessed? Yeah. There was like one video that came out of this influencer who then like backpedaled and said like it was AI, and it was very clearly not AI. And it's like, okay. Interesting. Get that bag, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then, oh man, we have to talk about the bear discourse. We have to. You know what I will say? I never really hated Amy Schumer. I just figured she was one of those people that were like very unlikable, which, like, honestly, I get it. I get it. It's like, it's kind of the way that I feel about Skylar White, to be honest, in Breaking Bad. It's like, I don't like the character. Let me cook. But that's because I think they wrote her to be unlikable. But she's right in the show. Like, she's right to be mad that Walter is lying to her. She's right to be mad that he is seemingly doing something on the side and not telling him. Like, you should, like, if you were in that marriage, you would be mad knowing that your partner is lying to you, right? But man, they put so many things in that character that make her unlikable. Like, it's kind of like Skylar's way or the highway, right? Or like she finds out that, or rather, sorry, Walter tells her that he started smoking weed, and she gets so mad about it that she has like, she borderline has an intervention about it and like shows up to this other guy's door or whatever. It's like, fuck, man, for a little bit of weed? Are you fucking kidding me? The man's like 50 something. Let him smoke a little weed. Jesus. Do not sell marijuana to my husband. Meanwhile, smokes while pregnant. It's like, with cancer, mind you? Yeah. Or even like he makes the decision initially that like he would rather pass than become someone that his family has to take care of and run his family into financial ruin. And she's like, you can't just fucking leave us. Stop being selfish about your life. And like Marie herself, I'm rewatching it, which is why this is so fresh in my head. So Marie says, I've seen so many patients that are in their like 60s and 70s with cancer, and then they just basically become vegetables and they need someone to help them do everything. And it's really sad. And I think it's his decision to make. And then fucking her husband, Hank, changes his mind too. And he's like, actually, yeah, I do think it's kind of your decision to make. And she fucking freaks out. It's like, I get it. It's her prerogative to get him to keep himself alive. But like, also, it's his life, man. The fact that there is no understanding of like, I understand it's your life. The fact that it comes off as, I don't care, you have responsibilities to take care of us. Don't fucking leave. How dare you make decisions? It just comes off like terrible. Like you just want to dislike her. Right? That's my point. That's my point. It's the same thing. Like Amy Schumer, the way she presents everything makes her so unlikable. But I've never thought I mean, like, she steals jokes or whatever, but like, don't half of like the successful comedians steal jokes as well? Isn't that just like a thing that happens? But nobody else gets the same amount of flack for stealing jokes as she does. But anyways, I never really disliked Amy Schumer in a strong way. And not really. I'm pretty sure it's happened a lot more than people think it has. Carlos Mencia's career was also ruined because he was caught stealing so many jokes. I think it's because she never makes her own jokes more than just stealing her jokes. Sure. Hannibal Buress stole a joke and no one said shit. According to Kat, a bunch of them do. From my understanding, comedians that are in the space have talked about how every comedian is like stealing jokes, or a lot of comedians are stealing jokes. Maybe they change it a little bit, but they're still stealing jokes, right? So I always thought that the hate against Amy Schumer was always kind of quadrupled because she's a easy to dislike character. She's an easy to dislike person. She has a dislikable character. However, if there was ever a time to finally be able to dislike her and get on board with everybody else, it's about fucking this. She literally is the most pro-genocidal freak on the planet. And Variety is like, Amy Schumer for Variety's Power of Women. 7,000 quote tweets, 500 likes, 14 million views. The ratio, OMG, no one actually likes her. Comfort, thank you for the 6 months. Thank you. Also, Jennifer Lawrence recently called her brave for her racism. I saw that. I was like, no, not you too. And like, this is what their side, the side that Amy Schumer is on, this is what they are defending. Israeli settlers attack humanitarian aid trucks on the way to the Gaza Strip. I just saw an ad to mobilize young people from Jennifer Lawrence, so that's disappointing. This is just straight up evil, completely indefensible. This is literally just straight up evil. Like, what's the defense? There is no defense. It's just literally. Well, they don't see it that way, sadly. This Caroline tweet goes hard. Vote blue so that we can sick the cops on you. This is on Broadway, 113th Street. Oh, you're peacefully protesting? How about we beat the shit out of you with cops? Again, there's like this evergreen tweet that says something along the lines of, liberals always love to say, oh, you're not going to vote, but you're also never going to put yourself in harm's way and actually do anything. And then when leftists actually go protest and do something, they're like, why are you guys being so disruptive? Why? How could you do this to us? How could you do this to us? It's like, oh